the first thing I quickly wanted to say is that this video is obviously about PvP. So I just quickly want to throw in there that there is actually a server made by Party, and he made a Discord server for basically everything PvP, and well, specifically RTA actually. And I'm gonna put the link in the description. So if you want to join, like if you want to meet people that actually are more interested in PvP than basically the majority of Grand Summoners player base, then definitely join that server. For now, it's still like building. It's still like a lot of people, like there's not a lot of people there yet, but there's going to be a day where that server is going to be like the biggest server when it goes to PvP, because it was probably, maybe it even is the first server for PvP. I don't even know, because like this is exactly what I mean. Like, we don't know anything about PvP. Nobody really cares. So yeah, definitely join that server if you care about PvP. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Alright everyone, this time we are going to be talking about something that usually is not being talked about in Grand Summoners, and that is PvP. Now, I was just looking around like many units, and I was like, some of these units are really bad, some of these units are really good overall, like etc, etc. And then something came up. And by the way, when I say I was doing this, I'm talking about weeks ago. I wanted to make a video about PvP a while ago, but I just never had the time. And now I'm like, you know what? Let's finally make that video about PvP. So, the unit that made me think about PvP the most was Sayaka. Because Sayaka has a passive that I have said before is like, it's okay, but it's not that good. Which is her 70% crit resistance passive. A lot of bosses have 999, 999 and whatever crit rate. So that passive is completely useless. Of course, there are some bosses who have just 100% crit rate or 50 or whatever they may have, and then the boss won't be critting on you anymore. But most of the time, that's not the case. So that passive is kind of useless. But when you look into PvP, that passive becomes a lot more useful. Like a lot more useful, whether it be RTA or just normal arena. So that's what we are going to be talking about in this video. It's not going to be too long because there's not much to talk about, but just some things that are noteworthy to say. So basically, first things first, PvP in Grand Summoners, global at least, is kind of dead. And I'm pretty sure everyone is aware, like, we have people who want to hit that top 100, top 1000. Like, I always make sure that I hit a certain ranking, which I'm pretty sure is top 1000 or whatever, just to get those little bit extra medals every week. But it's not a big deal, because the reason Grand Summoners Global is dead is because it's just not that crazy. Like, you don't get crazy rewards. It's not like, you know, something that shines out, like, oh, we're gonna get 30 crystals every week depending on our rank in PvP, and that's not the case. Which, for example, the best game that I can think about is Epic 7. So if you know Epic 7, then you know PvP there is everything. That game is not PvE. At this point, the game is a PvP game, so it's all about PvP and RTA. So, and there every week you get like almost, let's convert it into Grand Summoners. So every week from PvP in Epic 7, you get about like 40 crystals, depending on your rank. Like, the average is 40 crystals. So you get 900 in Epic 7, but like if we talk about Grand Summoners, that would be approximately 40 crystals. Every single week, by the way. Every single week you get about 40 crystals. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Or like, let's say 35 crystals. Like, I don't know, something. It's just more than 30 crystals every single week. Like, we'll take that. Or let's just say 30 crystals. And because Grand Summoners doesn't have that, you know, nothing crazy. So we're not going crazy about over PvP. Like, we get those medals, and with the medals we can buy nice stuff, like the stickers. That's a one-time only. Like, you know, you have some extra stickers, that's cool. And then the keys, which are kind of useless, but then you can also buy LB stones and equip LB stones, and like, you know, it's like some cool stuff. But no crystals, because we all care about crystals. And it's not like you can buy like extra LB stones either, or like something crazy like luck gems, or, you know. So nothing too crazy when it comes to PvP. But very big question is, one day PvP will be something, and then what's gonna happen? Like, I'm assuming there's gonna be one day where the devs are gonna be looking at PvP, and it's gonna be like, alright, let's change PvP. let's give some time and love to PvP, and let's, you know, put rewards in there, put crystals in there, and weekly whatever, to bi-weekly, fortnightly, monthly, I don't know, just like let's put rewards in there more. And the day that happens, you might regret not pulling for certain units. But look, before I just want to make this very clear, take this as a grain of salt. I'm not saying PvP is gonna have its day one day. I'm just saying if it will, then, you know, like, this doesn't mean get Sayaka or whatever. Like, I'm just saying if it does, because I don't think it will. But if it will, then, you know, there are some crazy units out there that are really bad, but when it comes to PvP, they are really, really, really good. For example, one of the units I can think of that is literally the worst ascended unit I've ever seen, which is Yuyoko from the GSJP with the Toho collab, the Dark Spirit one. She's pretty bad. She has skill, healing with a skill, which is like, I mean, her entire kit is really bad when it comes to just normal ground summons. But when it comes to PvP, healing with a skill, and then having the healing attack ratio, and then not being able to die with that revive zombie, whatever you call it, passive, that is pretty strong for PvP, if you think about it. So like, there are units out there, because in JP, PvP is a bit more, you know, it shines a bit more than it does in global. And so there are units out there that are like a little bit like, they're terrible, but when it comes to PvP, they're like, oh, they're actually quite good, you know. So that is what I, you know, just wanted to put in this video. Like, there might be a day where PvP will have its comeback, where it will not come back, but, you know, like, where it will just, you know, that's it. PvP is going to be a thing now. And if that day does happen, I will make sure to note every single unit, or as much unit as I can, that is actually good for PvP. Some units that I'll already mention right now is Sayaka, because of the, you know, taunt and crit resistance, really, really good. And then pretty much every single unit that has a, like, immortal passive, so where they don't immediately die, like where they stay alive for a little bit. One example, but you do have to keep in mind though, those who do have a zombie passive, or whatever you want to call it, it does not last for as long as it lasts in normal, like in normal stages in Grand Summoners. In Arena, it lasts a little bit shorter. So for example, Thomas is 5 seconds, but in PvP it only lasts like 2 seconds or something. So you have to keep that in mind as well. But at least they don't immediately die. Like, they have this, even if it's like 1 second, it's still 1 second longer alive. So yeah, so anyone who has that kind of passive, anyone who revives, literally, and like Shuna will be crazy in PvP. Anyone who revives, any taunt tank is powerful. Big shielders, like Madoka passive damage resist. Oh, anyone with passive damage resist, and not like for 50 seconds and like whatever, like passive damage resist at all times, unless like it's like 120, like, you know, if it's a long time, then it's fine. For example, Aira is an insane unit. Below everyone who's below 50% HP gets 30% DR. That's beautiful. Like, I'm talking PvP wise. So you might not even need taunt tanks. What if you just have a full team with like DR, just like as much DR as possible? Like Stark, oh my god, he gets, I think it was 50% DR when he gets low. He gives everybody 50% DR when he gets near death. And that's, whoa, I've seen it in action because I used it a few times in PvP, and it's really good. It's really, really good. You're just not dying. Along with other passive DRs, of course. And, you know, Freewind is actually also a great unit, giving that all status up. Because look, damage doesn't matter now. I mean, it does, but like someone like Hoka, like 300% crit damage up, unless you're sure you can nuke the team, like one-shot the team, then sure. But otherwise, damage doesn't matter. Because you need to just ensure that your team stays alive while also killing the enemy team. Because DR and HP, or defense, to put it in that way, is extremely important. Well, no, not defense, because yeah, defense ignore and crit is just, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so anyways, I was trying my best to not make this video too long. But yeah, basically PvP, there's some crazy units out there. Once PvP does have its day, I'll make sure to make another video about this, and we're gonna grind the PvP, and we're gonna make sure that we get that all of us will know what to use in etc, you know, all that kind of stuff. And but yeah, right now I'm not too bothered with PvP because you can only fight 3 times, like, and then after 3 times, you need to wait a half an hour to fight again. And it's like, that's so boring. That is so boring. Like, I am not wasting my time on that. And the same goes for Raid. I really hate that with Raid. But at least Raid has its rewards. Like 1 blessed gem, 2 blessed gem, 3 blessed gems, and then rainbow gems as well, and then AUG depending on your ranking. Like, that is insane. That is so crazy. Like, I'm still only like top 200, and I'm going to try to make a top 100, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. Anyway, but like, those are crazy rewards, you know. Well, not crazy, but they're really good. It's really good rewards. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say in this video. Just a reminder that PvP does exist in this game, and that it might one day actually be something. And if that day does come, like I just said, I'll let all of you guys know, and I'll make sure to say everything that we need to know, all the crazy units, and you know, all that kind of stuff. All right, well, anyways, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope that helped. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.